Mamas on hold. My mama was always standing up for God. She could witness to a statue and lead it to Christ. I can remember Mama going to the supermarket, witnessing to the cashier lady, and having her on her knees while the line was winding around the milk department, past the ding-dongs and Twinkies and back again. I used to say, Mama, this place is open 24 hours a day. You can come back at 3 in the morning and lead the whole place to Christ. The line's backing up. By the way, Mama had a surefire way of handling obscene phone callers. She witnessed to them. The moment she picked up the phone, the guy on the other end didn't have a chance. Hello? I beg your pardon? Young man, did you know that Jesus Christ suffered, bled, died on the cross so you could have eternal life? Did you know he was buried in a borrowed tomb and rose again on the third day? Did you know he could set you free from this phone perversion? Get on your knees right now. I said get on your knees right now! And repeat this prayer after me. Say, Dear Lord, come into my life. Forgive me of my sins. Hello? Most of them hung up on Mama, but a few of them got saved and became deacons. Mama even witnessed to Madelyn Murray O'Hare when I was a little kid. Madelyn Murray O'Hare versus my mama. It happened when I was about 8, and I'll never forget. Madelyn Murray O'Hare was, at the time, the world's best-known atheist. Madelyn could wipe out anybody in a debate. She was so mean, shifty, and rude. I heard her debate Dr. W.A. Creswell one night in 1975, and she cleaned his clock, because he was such a gentleman. He would allow that woman to interrupt him and get him off his train of thought. They'd lose track of what he was talking about. That was her dirty trick. Well, the difference between Mama and Dr. Criswell is that Mama is not a gentleman. You can't interrupt Mama. Mama doesn't have to breathe. Mama can go for days on one breath. My brother and I were down the hall in our room listening to the radio to Madelyn running over everyone who called in. I thought, oh, lady, have fun. Mama's on hold. Finally, the commentator said, Beverly, that's Mama. Beverly, you're on the air. You ever seen the moment in an auto race when the starring guy waved that flag and the cars go vroom into action? That was Mama. The flag was down and Mama was off to the races. Madelyn kept saying, Ma'am, what church do you go to? But Mama didn't. But Mama went going right on. Madelyn kept trying to interrupt. Ma'am, what church do you... Mama. Ma'am, what church... While down the hall, my brother and I were yelling, Get her, Mama! Well, Mama gave her the whole Bible. She started in Genesis and went straight through to the maps. Finally, the last thing Mama said was the only thing I remember her saying, but I'll never forget. She said loud and proud, You ask me how I know he lives? He lives within my heart. There was dead silence on the radio for a solid 5 seconds. Finally, the commentator spoke up, mumbling like he was crawling out from underneath a table. He said, Ma'am, could you please tell her what church you go to? When Mama hung up, we heard Madelyn say, "That woman's very intelligent, but she's dangerous." I thought, Madelyn, if you only knew.